I felt like I needed to document this somewhere that felt tangible, that felt different than where I have been documenting this, and that's why this isn't where I usually film. This isn't in the best quality. You can probably hear the TV on in the background. I don't even know what's on. This week, the last week of September, has been somehow so much. It's been so stressful and depressing, but there's been exciting things in it, and there's been nothing in it, and I didn't upload anything this week because I felt like I was out of time, but I was really just wasting my own time. I was procrastinating and not doing anything, and I had a history test this week, and I feel like I did horrible on it, and I got a math test back this week, and I felt like I did good on the math test, and that I got a pretty decent score, and I did horrible, and I know it's because I wasn't doing all the homework. Our homework isn't for points, our homework is just for us. But I felt like I understood it in class, and for the most part, looking at the test, I understood everything. Getting a bad grade, I don't know. College right now, for me, is something I'm doing because school is something that I have always done. I like school, I like learning, I like knowledge, and so it only felt routine for me to go to college. And in high school, I did have some struggles. I did struggle in math, but for the majority, I did fairly well in high school with very little effort. And right now, that's not the case in college. And I know how to fix it, but I don't. I know I need to do my work, and I don't. I know I have more time than I say that I do, but I get home from school and I waste my time. I get home from school and I go, Jesus fucking Christ, I hate school, and I don't do anything. I know I talked about how this year has been one of the most painful years of my life so far. This year has been something else, and I don't really know why. I lost my childhood. I turned 19, and for the first year of my life, my birthday felt forgotten about, almost. And then 4 days, I think, 5 days after my birthday, my childhood dog died. And then in May, my grandma, who admittedly I'm not super close to, but nonetheless have never lived, I've always lived 10 minutes away from her. She moved states away, and I've never really had a super close family member move. I mean, my aunts moved when I was like 6, but I barely remember it. And also, during the weekend that we had to almost literally pack up her entire house by ourselves, my other childhood dog, who felt like my dog, died. Also, leaving my house with no animals. And then it was summer. I haven't seen my best friend in almost 6 months. And during the summer, I felt so neglected by everybody. I felt so lonely and isolated and just entirely separate from almost everything else in my life. And I didn't get out of the house much. I didn't do much of anything. And I think it was the lowest point of the whole year thus far. The most achingly real, vividly lowest part of my life so far this year. And then school started, and that didn't feel vivid, that didn't feel lifelike for the first 1 to 3 weeks or so. And then it started to kick in almost. This is my busiest semester of college. I'm taking 15 credits. And in the 4th week of the semester, I took on being a club president because I felt like I needed to. And I've had busy semesters in high school before. I've had semesters that are about this busy in high school before. But somehow, this semester, it feels like so much. It feels like too much. I'm actively counting down the days and the weeks until the semester's over, and I've never done that in my whole life. And that's scary to me. And getting the grades that I got doesn't make me feel great, because I like A's. I just like A's, and I feel very visible this semester, and it's uncomfortable because I'm used to feeling like I'm in a little bubble, a hazy, foggy little bubble that only certain people can see through. And now it feels like that bubble is crystal clear. And I kind of just talked about this on Twitter because, I don't know, that's the easiest medium to immediately pour my thoughts to. But I said An interesting observation I had today was thinking last week about how depressed I was over the summer. Thought that perhaps going back to school brought me out of that by giving me more opportunity to feel connected to someone/something, i.e. see people more and have more of an objective in front of me. It would make sense, right? At the very least, I wasn't always feeling swallowed up with dread and regret. I think I realized, maybe slowly over this week, but especially cemented in today, that I am still really depressed, but it's moved to another aspect of myself. I have a really, really hard time identifying how I'm feeling. And I had another video I wanted to make, well, I did make about that, but that's not going to go up right now. But anyways, part of what I guess worries me, or at least always plagues me in times like this, is how long have I felt like this? All summer, or am I being dramatic? All year, or am I exaggerating? Has it been more than 1 year? I don't remember. I can never tell if it's consistent or situational. I feel like I'm going crazy at least once a month. I have a lot of complicated thoughts and feelings regarding this, especially on a darker note, which I still don't feel like I can share that part of it, but it's not an immediate danger or anything like that, so I guess you don't have to worry about it. But I've also really been struggling with anxiety lately, which is something I've never, ever struggled with. But throughout the day, I just get like bouts of nervousness. I wake up nervous. I go to bed nervous. Not every day, not consistent. Yes, consistently, but not every day. But it's still more than I've ever dealt with. And it's concerning because it's something I've never dealt with, so I don't know how to handle it, I guess. And I have talked about this before, but I feel it's hard to feel present in my life. I just feel like I'm running on autopilot, doing what I'm doing because it's what I've always done. It's what needs to get done. I feel like I'm on a conveyor belt. And it's frightening because I'm so aware of how finite life is, but I can't take charge of that the way that I want to. And yeah, I posted about this on Twitter and on Instagram lately. When I look myself in the mirror and I look into my own eyes, there's something behind them that I don't recognize anymore. And I don't know what it is, but I can just tell that something's different right now. And I don't want it to be different forever. I don't want to feel outside of myself forever. Also this year, quite recently in fact, my toxic ex-best friend, who I ended things with a year ago, apologized to me and recognized that they were emotionally abusive to me. And I don't know, that was weird. I don't know how I feel about that. It was really weird. And lately, I've really been struggling with my body image, which isn't new. I mean, I've been dealing with that for years, but it's never nice when it's at the forefront of my life, or at least the middle ground of my life. And I vented about this on Tumblr too. I think a lot of my bouts of fixation on my physical appearance is because my physical appearance is like the one thing that I have a direct choice in changing when I go through phases of like wanting, the perfect hair and the perfect skin and the perfect body and the perfect whatever physical attribute. I can recognize now that it's because that's something in my life that I feel I have direct control over improving. And I don't know, the desire for those material objects in that way isn't a big bother for me because it comes and goes. I don't know if there's any point to that, but I don't know. This week was a lot of bad feelings and stress and bad mental state, but it was a lot of good too. I had a really big order in the shop, and I had I guess a good encounter early in the week, but that good encounter was also something that never happened to me before, and that gave me like a couple days of like intense anxiety because it was a change I'm not used to, something I don't have experience in, something I don't know how to read, and I just don't like that. I like being solid. I don't like wishy-washy because routine is comfortable. Anybody could say that. Routine is really comfortable. I don't know. I've noticed too lately that I have taken to coping with my mental health by picking at my hair a lot. I'll pick off all the breaking or broken pieces, which doesn't help my self-confidence, but that's something that happens. I don't know, like, I just really needed to document how I've been feeling, because right now, for once, I can like concretely say I have been more or less depressed since about between February and May to present day, almost every day. There's a couple periods where I can forget about it for a while. And for a while, I mean like a day or two or a couple days or whatever. But it always comes back. It sucks. I really need to get through this semester. I don't like being so busy. It feels unmanageable, and I feel like I should be doing more. I feel like I should have a real job, and I feel like I should be doing better in my classes and doing better on my homework. But I'm trying, at least on the school aspect. I'm not actively looking for a job right now because I know I don't have time, but I wish that I could make myself do it, make myself have time for it. I want to be Superwoman, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm constantly, like, doing things that aren't really, like, things to make me feel like I'm doing something, but I'm never getting anything done. I'm just doing a bunch of, like, random stupid shit that isn't actually shit. Like, forming wish lists so I can feel organized about something, or... I don't know. I keep, like, this week, I keep complaining about the same things to my different friends. I don't know why I keep saying the same stuff, but I keep saying the same stuff. And it's driving me crazy because I want to shut the fuck up. All the time I'm telling myself, like, oh, I wish I would shut up. It'd be easier if I just didn't say anything. I wouldn't feel bad if I didn't say anything. I kind of realized all this today because this morning I was venting to my best friend and I just started crying. She didn't say anything. I was just talking about it and I just started crying. And I don't know. I've been so emotionally just off for so long in my life. Like, I used to never cry. I used to never cry at anything. And then I started, like, crying at movies because they felt so immersive. Like, that would make me cry. And now, sometimes, it's just a day and I just start crying because I realize how bad I feel. And then I stop crying and I distract myself enough to forget about it for a while. And then the next day comes and repeat, I guess. I don't cry every day, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. I keep yearning to start from high school. Well, if I had my way, I'd start over from, like, 2nd grade, but I'll stick with high school. Because I feel like, I don't know, I had more opportunity. I didn't feel so doomed. I felt like I could improve more and really prove myself and, like, get, if I worked hard enough. If I started over, I'd work harder and I'd get into big schools and I'd figure out what I really wanted to do and I wouldn't feel so bad now. But I can't go back. And I try to remind myself that what matters is the now. But I don't feel like I'm here, so I don't know what good that does, huh? I don't think I've ever shared this, but at the start, on New Year's, I made my lock screen. You can't see it well because I dropped my phone earlier this year and, like, shattered my screen to shit, which I've never done. But my lock screen says, 2018 is a life-changing year. It has said that since midnight, January 1st, 2018. And it has not been wrong since. And normally, I change my lock screen every couple months or so. But I have not been able to bring myself to that this year. And I just keep trying to wait and do my best to figure out why the universe wants to send me this message and figure out what this is all for on a grander scale than it is right now, at least. But it sucks sometimes. It's tiring. It's a lot. It hurts. more than anything, this week has just been too much. I literally, like, I can't bring myself to text outside of, like, 4 main people in my life. Texting anybody else, it's too much. And I don't know. I've never felt so overwhelmed. But what's funny is I don't feel like actively overwhelmed. There's a certain distance between inside me and outside me, and I think that's kind of like saving my ass right now. But it's still a lot. I still wish I could like pause life for like 2 weeks and just get a bunch of shit done, and then I'd be like, okay, I feel on top of it now. When I got my wisdom teeth out a couple weeks ago, I was out of commission for about 4 days of just like lying in bed doing nothing. Like absolutely nothing. And on the 3rd and 4th day, when I went to bed, I just silently cried for a good 20 minutes because I realized how good it felt to have somebody asking me periodically, like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? How good it felt to feel taken care of, and like I didn't have to do everything. And I don't know, realizing that has like left me a little shook, and I don't like that because I don't know, having to come to these realizations about myself and my personality and my mental health, it's uncomfortable, obviously, but it's like adding to the to-do list, and I'm like, the to-do list is already like fucking a mile long, and I can't stop wasting my own time, and I need to. I know that I'm gonna get through this because I literally have no other choice, but I really wish I could tap the fuck out. I wish I didn't fucking feel crazy all the time. I feel like I'm going crazy so often. And then, like, I have, like, a week or a little less than a week of, like, feeling alright. And then I'm like, oh shit, fuck, wait, never mind. I don't know. I posted a lot of when I feel really isolated. It's not always. In some cases, especially over the summer, in some cases, it felt like other people were just, like, outside of my life. Like, I feel a lot like I'm on the outside looking in. And when I don't feel like I'm on the outside looking in, I feel like I'm just passing through everybody's lives. And that's why I feel isolated, because I feel like I'm just on the conveyor belt going through, you know? But feeling on the outside looking in is so much more of an empty, like, cold, sharp isolation. I swear this kind is like an isolation that's almost like a dream. Almost. And like, I have the weekends, and that feels like the conveyor belt is slower, but I'm still on there. And then the week starts, and boom, 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 you know? I don't know. I don't know. I felt like I needed this somewhere. I needed this somewhere so I could know, so you could know, I guess. I don't know, not so you could know, but YouTube is a different type of connection than all the rest of my life is. There's a weird disconnect with it. It doesn't feel as real. It feels like a separate little island. And sometimes I need to go to that island, you know? Yeah. I don't know. I hope that you can make sense of this. I hope this makes you feel less alone or something. I don't know. I can't really. I don't know. Sorry this is so long. Know that I'm fine. I'm not going anywhere or anything. Life is just a lot, and I'm very tired. And I wish that I could hit pause for a while. But I can't, so life must go on. The show must continue, I guess. Okay. Thanks. I'll see you later.